8 o'clock. They say it sounds funny. 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. I don't know why people think that's funny.
Weeter.
Well, it is a little bit different than what the average Vermonter says, I'm sure.
Well, that's all fine and dandy. But welcome, everybody, to the Barre Beat podcast, live from Main Street, Barre, Vermont, Fly on the Wall Production Studios. And with us, we have Raylene.
Good evening.
And Miss Alice.
Hello.
How are you ladies doing tonight?
Wonderful.
We're fine.
Wonderful?
Sure.
Doing wonderful? Excited? What do you got for a jacket there?
I have my It's No Secret jacket.
It's a no secret
that
jacket?
Val made me down at Yipes.
Oh, nice.
She makes amazing, beautiful things. She made all of my stuff. She's made all of aired out stuff, including our window decals and all of our banners and everything.
And they're a sponsor?
They are a sponsor, presenting sponsor of ours. Yes, they
Nice.
are.
I need a list of all your presenting sponsors here.
All right, I can get you that.
Yeah, you'll have to do that.
Easy
so that
enough.
I went to one of the...
Opticals.
Yeah,
You went to Optical Expressions.
I went to Optical Expressions today.
Yes.
I ordered some very unique glasses.
Oh,
like-
gosh.
They're
Uh,
bright blue with bright green on the side. I'm pretty
Ooh.
stoked about it. Very, very stoked.
Rocket Man.
Oh,
Yes.
What am I going to do with you? Can I trim your beard at least if you're going to wear those?
No, you can't touch my beard. My beard is fine. I
Just
did trim
it
it.
needs
Can you tell
shaping.
that it's been trimmed?
I need to shape it up.
No, you don't need to shape it up.
Don't I, Alice?
Well, it's a little blunt on the bottom, but it's trimmed.
Relentless. You people are relentless.
Picky, picky, picky.
Drop comments in there if you think my beard is amazing.
Or if they think that Raylene should trim it.
No. Anyway, that being said, so we're kind of going to have a fun night tonight because there's no city council and there's only one meeting for the school board, which is about the career center needing a place for a welding. Let's just jump off the ledge with that first.
The welding program.
Yeah. So why
Yes.
don't you go for that?
Well, for years, the Career Center has been thinking about establishing a welding program because it's something that the students have asked for, the businesses in the local community have asked for, to have individuals trained in welding, and there just hasn't been a place for it. There hasn't been room. And now we've reached a tipping point where the requests and the student requests have really made it important to find a place. So this coming Thursday, the boards of both the Career Center and the BUUSD are having a combined meeting to discuss size, place, and how it might fit in to the campus on Air Street, and to have a welding program there.
That would be fantastic.
So it's a combined board meeting?
Yeah, the members of the board of the Career Center have been invited to attend, and we'll each be able to discuss and hear the discussion between not only the boards but the two superintendents, Ms. Emerson and Mr. Hennessy, as to what their thoughts are for establishing and placing this welding program. People have been putting a lot of energy into this. Lots of civilians, citizens have been looking around. There have been people who have been mentally walking around not only the city but surrounding communities to see whether or not there are buildings that could tolerate a welding program. And we're looking, because I sit on the Career Center board and the Barre board, and we're looking to establish at least 8 welding booths and some space for a classroom, so there can be some teaching aspect, didactic aspect of the welding program, and then the kids can go into their little booths and practice what they're doing with their instructor.
But it's a combined board meeting.
Well, it's the two boards having a conversation is what it is. I don't know if you want to call it what you're talking about for combined. There are going to be people in the room from both boards.
Okay, so it's the career center that's coming to a BUUSD board.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the reason why I was asking is because if it's a combined, then there's like who runs the meeting, but if it's
the meeting was called by the BUUSD as a special
Correct.
meeting, and then the folks from the Career Center are coming to the meeting to add their contribution to the discussion.
right. I didn't
Nice.
know if they were calling a meeting as well.
No.
Okay, because that would get, because I've done that once where there was two. It was the Montpelier and the Barre City Council that went to Montpelier's place, and I believe how it went down was it was Mayor,
Oh,
that guy.
Yeah.
I can't remember the guy's name, but he was on there and he called the meeting to order, and then Tom called the meeting to order.
and that's what used to happen when we had the supervisory board, and we would have combined meetings for the supervisory board that the chair of the Barre City Board would call to order, the chair of Barre Town would call to order, the chair of Spalding High, and you'd have these three boards and their chairs each acting somewhat independently in the same room. But for this is a conversation about the two school districts that are both on the same campus on Ayers Street, because the Career Center is a school district and BUUSD is a school district, and trying to figure out how to share space.
Okay. I was just curious how that was going to run for that particular.
A very
section of it.
important program.
Yeah, it
I
is.
believe it really is. It's a career that is a good one, and it seems to be one that many more are choosing to go into that field.
Well, you'd be surprised how welding, in some cases, is a standalone operation. But it's also knit into many industries. It's knit into the car repair industry.
Construction, housing now, even.
Everything. So having the ability to weld well is really important, and the different aspects of welding. There are different temperatures, and being able to weld aluminum, and that's the extent of my knowledge. But to know all those intricacies of welding, that it isn't just putting on a mask and flashing your hot stick. It really is important, and people can really appreciate that.
I don't know much about welding. I think my dad did welding many years ago. And I will say this, it's a trade that, as we all know, all trades nowadays are absolutely needed, which is the reason why the Career Center is so good. We really should be focusing more on that than college. My personal opinion. Because I hate college, and I think it's terrible.
We jumped from one to
for the most part, unless
another.
you're going for STEM.
Agreed.
If there's and there's reasons why we don't have plumbers, we don't have HVAC people, because there's no, everybody's like, oh, I got to go get my underwater basket weaving degree, and then they end up working at a minimum wage job because they got a degree that they're not using. I'm sorry. I could go on about the college thing. I hate college. I just hate it so much.
Or they have to go
indoctrination
back
camps in
and
general.
retrain through a career center, through some kind of an adult ed career center or something like that, and retrain, and suddenly discover that the first X number of years that they spent with underwater basket weaving isn't
And
paying off.
there are certainly positions that we need college for, nurses and doctors and things like that. And if those are the fields that you choose to go into, and you go to college for those things, I mean, we need to have that as well. Lawyers and doctors and nurses and things like that. But so we can't be 100% anti-college, but we just need to know that the trades matter too, and that for a long time, I think the school systems and even parents and families got away from talking about going into the trades, and everything was go to college, go to
because
college, go to college.
it was scoffed at
Uh-huh.
actually,
Yeah.
and that shouldn't be, because those are necessary parts of living. And if someone, just from speaking from a career center point of view, if someone wants to go on, for example, it doesn't hurt to take the automotive program and then move into a place where you can become an automotive engineer.
Right.
But you have the background that you know where all those nuts and bolts go, and how to fix a fender.
I'll say this. Somebody working in the trades probably makes more money than the college-educated person, for the most part.
They're
When
probably
you-
not as in debt.
Oh, they're definitely. Well, if President Joe Biden has anything to say about it, those people will not be in debt anyway, so it's all good. I paid my student loan.
Yeah, I know many that did
I worked.
and still do. Yeah.
I didn't. I worked, and in my junior year, when my finances for college were low, I got a full-time job and then went back, as a lot of people did.
Oh, look, you actually did what you're supposed to do, which is pay your debt or pay it forward.
Yeah.
Or pay for it ahead of time, which is kind of, I'm not very nice when it comes to the whole like writing off the college education. I've got a Jeep. Can that get written off too? I'm just saying, I've got lots of debt that I could write off. You know,
A lot of people do.
Yeah.
yeah, you know, if you're going to buy my vote, you're
Right.
going to buy my vote.
Will you
Buy
buy,
my
my
house.
Jeep? Buy my house.
Jeep, okay?
Yeah.
You know, give me my money. Maybe I would consider voting for him if he paid off my Jeep. I think about it for a hot minute.
Or make it so
Not even that's
that
worth
the
it.
mortgage rates aren't so high. I feel
Wouldn't
so
do it either.
badly for young people just starting out with 8% mortgage rates. That's unconscionable.
Chris Massey says, I got my PhD in BS.
Yeah.
Can you please tell us what college that was from?
Yeah.
The School of Hard Knocks.
Yeah. And now
man.
he's a business analyst.
He is a business analyst.
He's a great guy.
Yeah. All right. So, want to go over something fun that happened last week at city council meeting?
Oh,
Sure.
we're up for fun.
They're up for fun.
We're always up for fun.
The charter changes were warned, so we are going to be removing finally all the stuff from the or not BUSD, but all the school stuff. So the charter, our charter, the city charter, has a lot of language from when the city actually owned the school system, which, you know, for those that remember that have lived here longer than, 2 years. We remember the old schools. You know, we had the Lincoln. All of them were Lincoln, North Berry, Matheson,
Ward 5.
missing one,
Brook Street.
and Air Street was also
Street.
one. And all of those were owned by the city, and it was covered underneath the charter. So when they did Act 46, right?
Well, it would have been before that when they built the two elementary schools, or elementary middle schools, right?
No, the language, because the system, I think it was still.
But the city never owned Barre City Elementary Middle School, did it?
Yeah, I think the city. How did that work? Because so it was still the old, before Act 46. It was controlled under the city charter, and it was a separate board, but it was controlled by the charter. That's the reason why when the districts merged, there was, it was like Barre Town was owned by I think that was also owned by the
Select
actual
board?
town, and it was probably in your charter as well. But I know ours was in our charter, and that is the reason why it's still in there, and it just needs to go away. And our wonderful representatives when they did Act 46, were like, hey, maybe we shouldn't deal with this wonderful stuff that's sitting out there, because why would we want to be efficient and like update all the charters? No, we just want to pass Act 46.
So basically, what
Whatever.
you're doing is just removing obsolete language.
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
that's
So
fun.
there was no argument about that.
Yeah.
Right.
Unlike some of the stuff that we did talk about, there was some argument about the moving the town meeting day to May, which would coincide with Barre Towns, and certainly it would help bring that feeling of being friendly, with one another.
Cohesiveness.
I'm just saying, and not that I have a great desire to merge with you guys.
I make no comment. I have no
Right.
I hear no rumblings in the community.
Half of the audience was like, no. That's okay. So anyway, we're the charter change would be to move the town meeting day to May, the second Tuesday of May, I think, which is what it's traditionally been for like the last 100 years, or 100 and since 1895. It's been the second Tuesday of May until Tom Lozon came in and changed it to town meeting day. And it's like everybody's like, and I'm like,
Yeah.
it's like, been that way. So
There was a lot of argument about that, and I was really surprised at some of the argument and the like very strong opinion of why it should not change, that it should just stay the way it is.
Yeah. All I know is I'll be voting for it because it certainly helps with budgeting for the city. And one of the things that, dirty little secret, right? If the city knows what the school district is going to have, it does make it contract a little bit for their budgeting process, because that's what happens with the town. The budget is contracted a bit, so there is that benefit on that level. I think, for those that are budget conscious, but more importantly, it allows the staff to know more financial information before the end of the year, so they're not like winging it, so to speak. But yeah, that's all there is to that.
Yeah.
Nothing overly excited. You guys, this old
And
hat
then-
for you,
and
because
then-
you guys do it in May every
And
year.
then the other,
Oh, you mean having children vote? Because that's
Yes.
such a great idea.
yes, the children that pay no property taxes are heavily influenced by adults in their lives, teachers,
Well,
parents,
Okay,
whatever.
I've heard. So I'll say there's been like some comments about, the concern about teachers' involvement in like for voting on the budget and stuff, but it doesn't affect the education side. It doesn't.
Well, no, but we're not talking about it affecting the education side. It's a teacher's opinion. I mean, we know that there are children that were flat out told not to talk about Trump in the classroom, or, were very much given opinions, political opinions, during several different
Correct. There was. I mean,
presidential
I know what you're referring to.
candidacies.
I
And
know
local
one
ones
situation
too.
where
Yeah,
And
local
local
ones
and
as
local
well.
elections.
But
There were discussions in classrooms.
of course there are.
that's okay.
And everybody has their opinion, but in younger people are more impressionable. And I mean, we all are impressionable, but younger, and they're just not ready.
Yeah. I don't think, I'm not as concerned about like specifically the influence of parents or teachers. I'm more concerned about the fact that children shouldn't be voting.
Yeah.
And I would actually, my personal opinion is maybe we should go the other way. Like, no, if you can't smoke, if you can't chew, you can't drink, you can't be held accountable in a court of law because you're breaking the law until you're 21, then maybe we shouldn't allow you to vote either.
Right. Well, I think it's 16 and 17-year-olds way too young, even as far as the bottom line for money alone and how it affects them. And it's certainly, they're not paying property taxes. They have no skin in the game. None.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't say that they have no skin in the game. But I'll say this. A landlord has more skin in the game. Bob Nelson, who is a
presenting sponsor. It's okay if you say it.
I know. Well, I'm just saying, send it over to you. But you know, he has some significant skin in the game, right? And we don't allow him to vote in Barre City elections, which I actually made that comment. And quite frankly, if this passes, maybe we should do so that people that own property in the city have that ability to vote. I actually don't agree with that, folks. We shouldn't be having 16 and 17-year-olds, and we shouldn't have people that don't live in the city voting. But that's my personal opinion. You can take it or leave it.
Did the people who suggested this ever hang around with a group of 16 or 17-year-olds? Do they have children? Do they see what happens with 16 and 17-year-olds? How impressionable they can be? And also how widely erratic they can be, too. Let me tell you. Been there twice.
I don't know. Well, I'll say
now
this.
on my third run with grandchildren.
I'll just say that if you live in Barre City, you should get out and you should vote.
Hell no.
Yeah. And also let kids be kids. You know,
Can I get an amen in the comments?
Yeah.
Vote no on the 16 and 17-year-olds. Come on now. Show me some love, folks. So on that level, then we get the wonderful, well, not wonderful. Let me rephrase that because that was it for the crazy stuff. Judy coughing. Amen. Amen, sister. Then of course we've also got the separating of the clerk and the treasurer position, which is kind of good. And there's nobody on the docket for clerk, which is really sad. But
now, did the rules or the city charter or anything say that the person who does that has to be a resident of the city?
Yes, you have to be a resident of the city to do that. And if nobody applies or nobody gets it, then we'll have to do an appointment. So that'll be fun.
And hopefully you'll appoint someone who wants to do it.
Right.
You're not using the telephone book theory that it's like bingo numbers, that you pick a page number and then you pick a line number and you go down and you say, hey, person number 38 on page 182 in the telephone book, do you want to be city treasurer?
No, they're going to tell everybody to pick a number 1 through whatever, and then they're going to spin the wheel, and where it lands, there you go.
Oh, yes. Welcome to city government.
Oh, man. Yeah, so that was obviously voted unanimously. The 16 and 17-year-olds was not in the change to go from
March to May.
March to May was also not unanimous.
But again, is that just redoing an obsolete something, that putting it back to where it was? I mean, so that's really not that frightening then.
Yeah, it's putting it back to where it was. But And, some people, really don't like that.
No, because some people think that they get more voter turnout during the primaries.
And I get that. I do get that. Like, I get the turnout question. But the reason why we don't have turnout in May is because people are not used to it.
Right.
And once they get
Nobody's
used
prepared.
to it, we'll get that turnout way better than what we think. That's my opinion.
So
but
when
I
would
could
you
be
elect
wrong.
your school board representatives?
In March.
In March, on
Yeah,
meeting day?
it would still
Yeah.
be on the normal town meeting day that people think of.
Oh,
Yeah.
so that's pretty reasonable.
Yeah. Yeah. To me, it sounds like a good idea, especially the budgeting. Very especially since the budgeting. You want to talk about last week's school board meeting there, Alice?
It was very interesting. Lots of good stuff going on there, and finally having some reasonable discussions among folks on the board, all folks on the board. And it worked out very well. We still have to work on getting our board meetings into a reasonable time frame. Starting at 6 o'clock and leaving at 10:45 at night is a little bit too long.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
But we're getting
Was
there.
it 11? We didn't leave at 11. We left at, it was somewhere
after
around
10. It was after 10, though. So,
That I'm pretty positive it was not.
okay.
I don't think so, because I made a phone call after I left.
Oh.
And I checked. Did you? I think there was, but maybe not. Maybe
Yeah.
not. Maybe I'm
But
wrong.
anyway,
I could be
still,
wrong.
marathon meetings,
right.
we need to think about.
You certainly have had plenty of marathon
Fun
meetings
meetings.
so that you know what she's talking about.
Because the point also is, if we want to have public engagement and we want people to sign in virtually or even come to the meetings, you can't be asking people who have worked all day or
Have kids to go to bed, things like that. Yeah.
To leave at supper time and not come home until the sun is coming up. But no, to have those marathon meetings, you want to have public engagement and you want people to be part of and actually enjoy what they're part of, because that's part of the whole public discussion and the whole engagement with the public and the citizenry. And you don't want to drive folks away because we're just having these marathon meetings. So we're working on it. We're getting there slowly but surely. We're thinking about governance. We're thinking about what we need to do. We have our two very important goals, which are to find a superintendent and put a budget in place. And whether or not the budget is approved or not approved, that still is out there, that we have to have a budget in order to continue doing what we need to do. So if this one doesn't work out, we have to go back to the table and start thinking again.
And so we did finish up the remainder of the superintendent stuff that is like
Yep.
crazy cuckoo stuff that's causing lots of stuff go on in our agenda meetings. Thankfully, that's all over with now, so we're not going to get too many crazy agenda adjustments. Although we should adjust on our next meeting to add roundtable in. So
Yeah.
but that being said,
And also to just continue on that belief of having solid public engagement, in the next couple of weeks, there will be information going out to the public, a survey going out to what individuals who are not associated with the school, people from the citizenry, consider to be important characteristics for a superintendent of schools. So people need to watch Front Porch Forum, the Times Argus, Facebook, to see where, and the BUUSD webpage, to see where that survey is so it can be responded to, because the more responses we have, it gives us as a board something to think about as to what people are looking for. And that's really important. And there also is on the BUUSD webpage a superintendent search component. So if anybody is looking for that, they can go to the BUUSD webpage and look for the superintendent search page within within our website.
So the board did vote to approve the committee members, of which, do you want to say who our favorite one is?
You mean Barry Beat's favorite one?
Barry Beat's favorite superintendent search committee member.
You?
I'm humbled. I'm humbled.
I would say I make a motion to say that Alice is the
Aye.
best committee member. No offense to Catherine, Nancy, and all the other folks. Sorry.
Right. We can. Barry
That was
Beat.
kind of rude.
You know
Barry Beat is
every-
allowed to have a favorite.
That's right. Barry Beat is allowed to have a favorite. I agree.
And that's because 85% of anything is showing up, and I'm here.
That's right.
That's right.
Because if other people showed up, they would also get the same. It would
They'd
be
be
a
favorites.
tie.
But everyone, let me just say, everyone is going to work exceptionally hard
Yes.
on this committee.
Yeah.
And because we do want what's best for this district.
Yep.
This district has tremendous potential, and we want that potential to shine and
be
and
realized.
the way to do that is to have the right leader in the right place for the right things. And I will take my lip and pull it up over my eyebrow now.
And we'll just give a rundown of those that are on the committee, which are Mary Bowers from Barre City. She's from Barre City, but she's a Barrytown teacher. So congratulations to Mary. She actually lives in Ward 2. Then we've got Miranda Green, para at Barrytown. Brenda Waterhouse, the Barre City principal. Then we've also got Lisa Perrault, our central office person, who's our central office
She's our business manager.
She's our business manager. I'm looking for. I thought Carol was on there, but I guess maybe not. Didn't we have?
You mean Carol Merrill?
Yeah, I thought she was also.
She's
on
kind
there.
of an ad hoc because Carol, as the human resources director, is doing a lot of paperwork and things like that. But our consultant from the Vermont School Boards Association is creating documents, but Carol is making sure that they're all put together and everything.
All right. And then, of course, we've got the school board members, which is Miss Alice Farrell, Nancy LeClaire, and Garrett. Wasn't it Garrett?
Yes, I think it is
I think
Garrett
it's
Grant. Garrett Grant from the
Grant,
library.
yes. I'm almost positive it was
Yeah.
him, but I would feel terrible if I was wrong.
I have to go around the table and
I know.
Right. Who's who?
mentally around the table.
I was trying to find it in the minutes to make sure that it was correct, but I couldn't quickly find them. So, oh well, yeah. So board members, yeah.
So it's a good group. It's a good mix, and not only from communities, but age-wise, experience-wise,
Yeah.
and folks who have, in other careers, been in on the hiring process. So that's really important to come to the table.
Yep. So that'll be nice, and it will be nice not to have crazy agendas going forward, right?
Right.
Do we want to talk about the other things that happened, or no? Probably not. How about the one that you're involved with? Do you want to speak on the one that you were involved in?
You mean the action item?
The exit? Yep.
Yes, the action item. I think it's very important that the board recognize folks who have been in the district, for administrators who have been in the district for a long time and are moving on to other positions or other careers. And my action item was to have an exit interview with the board, with those individuals, so that we could hear, as my friends in other careers often say, the good, the bad, and the ugly, so that we can understand what we as a board need to do to make things better, to keep things the same, and to ply our strengths. And we have 5 people who are moving on to other places and other careers, and we need to hear from them. So that was my action item, and we'll be setting that up as an executive session, and then we'll take that feedback from those folks and run with it.
Nice. And I do want to read Judy's comment. Any candidate for a superintendent's position in our district is going to be watching these videos. Oh, in your district, watching these videos. Tracy said that. Adding, they are trying you on as much as you are trying them on, which is 100% accurate.
It is.
You know, it that's the reason why we need to be nice and smooth the next couple of weeks. Put on a friendly face. I think it will be fine. Yeah, it was from the Times Argus. But yeah, that's, you know, one of the things that I think would make the district certainly would be better with those exit interviews. And then there was, of course, the code of ethics thing, the civil discourse, and conflict of interest complaint, which I'm just gonna. Those were kind of like they were good
entrees for discussion, and to maybe kind of cause us to look at ourselves a little bit more and what has been going on over the last couple of years as far as the board is concerned, and the relationship that the board not only has with itself, but what it has with the community and the aspects of their work. The important aspects of the school board are governance, and to maintain that governance thinking is extremely important. So maybe we're inching our way to that, back to that, to make sure that we can do what we need to do appropriately.
Have a good relationship with the staff and the community and each other.
And from that comes positive achievement for our students. If the school board is focusing on making sure that our students can read, write, and compute, then that's what will happen in the buildings, in the classrooms, in the houses, so that we can focus on positive outcomes for our kids.
What is he holding? Do you see what that guy was holding?
No.
Look out the window and just take a peek. Was that a teddy bear?
I can't see.
Oh.
All I can see is the lights when I turn around and look.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's all I can see in the window.
Again. I can't help myself.
But I can't see out the window. All I can see is the lights.
Okay. It was interesting, folks. Trust me. I don't know what he was carrying. It looked like a huge teddy bear.
Well, hopefully, as long as it's not a person.
Yes. And at 1:30 in the morning last Friday, we had a real teddy bear in the backyard.
Oh, did you?
We did. Yep.
They are out.
Turned on the motion sensitive light, and there he was, Beastly Bruin.
Not a big fan of teddy bears in the backyard. I'm just saying, no, thank you. Hard pass on me. But so I don't have anything else. Do you guys have anything else you want to chat about?
No, other than to just say if you are here and you're not registered to vote, register to vote. If you've just moved here, if you've lived here for forever and stopped voting or moved or got married or all of those wonderful things, register to vote. If you don't want to go to the polls, get an absentee ballot and get it anyways, just so that you have it to bring to the polls with you if you want. That way, if you have questions about the ballot, you can ask ahead of time and get those questions answered by the person running in your ward. Maybe you have concerns that you want to discuss before you decide who to vote for. But just vote. By just whatever you do, vote.
Your vote is your voice, and that's extremely important.
And it truly matters whether you're a homeowner or a renter. Your voice matters. I have talked to so many people who in the last few weeks have said, I don't vote anymore, or I rent, so it doesn't matter. And if you rent, you matter. Yeah.
I was prepared for it.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah. Because I'll say this about 60% of the rent, the housing stock in Barre City is rental.
Is tenants.
And for those that do rent, the fact is that your landlords pass the tax increases on to you. So
Yes.
it's,
Right. No one wants to see them go up, even you.
yeah, absolutely. By the time, so John Anderson says, by the time I get the ballot, I'm literally just filling in circles and I'm not sure what good it does. It does do good as long as you get the ballot in before the election day. And,
Right.
I think, John, you live in Ward 3, which I would highly recommend you vote for Michael Deering.
And I highly recommend that as well. And please find
And
out
vote no on the
who
16 and 17-year-olds.
find out who your representatives are
Yeah.
and speak with them. They are available. Speak with them. I know Michael Deering is available.
Yep.
He gives his phone number out all the time.
Yep.
Always available.
Absolutely.
Yep. Know your candidates. I'm putting. Can I put my plug in right now
You
for Lozon for mayor?
yeah.
Ward 1, Ed Bruce. Ward 2, Michael Booten. And Ward 3, Michael Deering.
So
That's-
are you saying that this is a biased podcast now? This is
No,
totally
I'm
biased.
saying that's me. That's
is.
my opinion.
At
And
this
I would
moment,
hold my opinion if there was somebody else here. But there isn't. It's just us.
Yeah.
So I can say that.
Well, that being said,
I would like
Nothing-
everybody to pray for sun because I'm sick of rain.
Yeah, me too.
yeah, that would be nice.
Oh, the mud in the backyard is just. Ugh. And I'm tired of dog toweling, and I'm tired of muddy paws coming in the back door.
Yeah,
Me too.
I hear you.
I'll say this though, I'm more tired of the fact that my dog, all she does is dig, and that drives me nuts. Just saying.
And
Does
then
your
you have
dog
muddy
dig?
paws.
No, your dog doesn't dig.
Yeah, our labby
Neither
does.
one of them
Our
does.
labby digs,
Oh man, it drives me nuts.
and he just loves it
Drives me
when
nuts.
the mud just goes flying all over the place. He's in dog heaven.
So Leah dug up my mom's rose, and it's the rose that comes back every single year, and she loves that rose, and she dug it up. I was absolutely
You can
mortified.
probably save it.
Well, I put it back into the ground, and I'm really hopeful that
It's
will,
going to maybe need some fresh potting soil and
Oh,
some
it's dead then.
vegetables. some drinky poo of some good vitamin stuff
It's
that
probably
you can
dead
get
then.
right next door at Nelson Ace Hardware. Both of them.
Rose,
Just a little
rose
bit.
food. Isn't
Yeah,
that what they call
rose.
it? Rose
yeah,
food.
Yeah, rose
Yeah.
food and just some like literal fresh topsoil to
I might have to do that.
make sure that it's
Yeah.
got enough stuff to grab a hold of in the ground. That's all.
I'll have to do that because I was very disappointed that she dug that up. I saw that and I was like,
A rose bush or a wild rose or
it's a rose that she planted 2 roses and only one has been able to constantly come up every single year, except for this year. I don't think it will, and I was very
Have
very
faith.
sad.
It
about
will.
Yeah.
It'll be all right.
I hope so, but
a rose is a
alrighty,
rose.
folks. Well, thank you for coming.
Yes, thank you for having us.
Yeah, and thank you everybody for watching the Barry Beat podcast live from Fly on the Wall Production Studios here on Main Street, Barry, Vermont. Want to wish you a wonderful day, and we'll see you next week.
Yes.